career in the limelight may be a dream come true for many, but it's not always about glitz and glamour. The road is also full of pitfalls. Let's talk about fame, fashion and fortune with the founder of In Vogue models, Nina Bola, as we live out loud next. Hello and welcome to Sheila Lives Out Loud. My name is Sheila Mwanyega. I'm glad you found this channel. Please click subscribe and hit notifications. You do that by ringing the bell. Click it, click it. Thank you. I hear you. And we upload episodes every Monday, so thanks for joining us. Drop us a comment at the end of this video and share it if you like. We are living out loud at the waterfront, Karen, East Africa's premier destination for wellness, for lifestyle, for retail. They've got an incredible jogging track. You want to get your life and health in check? This is the place you need to be. Come out and enjoy a great day out at the waterfront, Karen, with local and international brands now present. The waterfront, Karen, you've arrived. And joining me for a conversation on fame and fortune and fashion is the one, the only Nina Bola. Does the name sound familiar? Yeah, that Nina Bola. She is not only a previous contestant on Tusker Project Fame Season 3, she's also the founder of In Vogue Models, an extremely amazing modeling agency based in Kenya with models across Africa pretty much. Nina Bola.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
I feel like any moment now you're going to whip out a microphone and you're going to start singing something.
No, this is not TPM.
We've all come a long way.
Yes.
We truly have come a long way, and I couldn't have thought of a better person to have this conversation, especially on fashion and fame and fortune, than with a lady who knows what it's like to be very young, to be thrust into the limelight very early, to find your place and to build a career from it. So for somebody who for some reason was not anywhere near Africa and has no idea about the genesis and the history and the progression of Nina Bola, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Nina is a 33-year-old woman. I've got two beautiful children. I have a daughter and a son, Eve and Orea. My daughter has actually turned 13 years old this month.
Wow.
That was amazing because I'm like, oh, you hacked
Time's
it.
moving.
Yes. And also I'm an entrepreneur. So I've got a business which is a talent management company, you've mentioned, In Vogue Models.
Yeah.
And then as well, I'm a producer. So in the film industry, I produce across Africa as well. I've done a lot of international projects as well. And yeah, mother, entrepreneur, consultant.
Everything, all the
Yes.
above actually.
And single.
Oh, single.
Yeah.
Now, Nina, you first burst into the limelight a few years ago with that huge reality TV show.
Yes.
It was broadcast to pretty much across East Africa,
Yes.
most of the East African states. I think when you came on the season, Rwanda had just joined the fold. So we were no longer just broadcasting in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. There was Rwanda and Burundi.
Burundi came the following year.
Burundi came in the following year,
Yes.
so Rwanda came in first.
Yes.
And then after that, South Sudan also
Yes.
joined the fold.
Yeah.
But looking back at your experience, being so young and being in everybody's houses every weekend, did you really have a plan when you auditioned for this show, or did you just think it was a good idea to just try it?
It's a very interesting story because at the time I was dating my late husband, and we used to go for karaoke. So I would actually go sing with friends and like, oh, you can sing. And this audition was happening, which is Tusker Project Fame. So they told me, jump in the car, we're taking you for this audition. And I was like, you guys are just joking. I'm not going to get this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be picked. It's too...
It's too over there.
It's too over there. It's not for me, you know. And when I did the audition and I was given the letter and I was told, you've been shortlisted. I'm like, hey, okay. Now we did the final and I found myself in the house.
Right.
Which was quite a surprise, but at the same time exciting, because I was in uni at Daystar at the time, and I was getting this limelight space. I met you there.
I met you there.
Yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, it wasn't like in the plan.
Right. It was something good that came your way, and you said yes to the opportunity.
And like many young people at that age, you want to try anything, At that age, you're trying to find your sport, So that's the opportunity that came at that time, and it worked out. So yeah, that's how I got into that.
So what was that like? It was, for me, it was always so difficult on Saturday nights, because one person would leave the house. Every week on week, I mean, occasionally nobody would go, but the case was, somebody is going to go, and you wonder, are they going to pursue that music career? What's going to happen to them in 5 years, in 10 years? Are you going to ever see this individual again? But leaving the house, what happened to your life afterwards?
Just to take you backward a little bit, I am Rwandese, and I've grown in a space where all the countries where I've grown since I was born, we've been speaking in French, and even singing has been in French for me almost my entire life. And I think actually that's what got me into TPF, because most songs I did during my audition.
I think you did a Celine Dion song.
Yes, they were mostly French songs. So when I came out of Tusker Project Fame, I was reached out by some producer. But then the challenge that came in when it came to doing such music was that I wanted to sing in French, and I'm based in Kenya, and my audience is either English or Swahili. So it wasn't really working for them, because they wanted me to sing in Swahili, they wanted me to sing in English, and I was really not comfortable with that. So personally, I've done a couple of songs, even with Davies, who had the
season winner.
Actually, we were talking sometime this year, and I was telling him I have to come to Uganda and we record that song, because he did.
And when you see him, you've got to say, "I said hello."
Yes, I will definitely do that. So so I wrote a song with him, and he's doing his part in Luganda, in Ugandan language, and then I'm doing my part in French. And so we'll work on it. But for me personally, music was not at a space where I was like, I'm not going to do anything else but just music, because I've always been a business-oriented person, and that's why I got into entrepreneurship. So we'll do music when we can, when God allows it.
Of course, every time and every season at a time and a place.
Exactly.
So music became something that you do, and it is something that you do because it makes you happy, not because you've got to make a fortune out of it. So you pursued your entrepreneurial spirit in a different direction. Let's talk about that direction.
I went into talent management and production. So when I was working as a producer for some production company in Kenya, of course we need to do casting and all. So I was asked to assist the casting director, of which the following project was not available. So I was asked, but you've been working with him, can you do it? And I was like, yes, I can do it, eyes closed. So when I started, the owner of the company fired the guy and gave me the job. So, and then it was just a roller coaster and a roller coaster. And I remember the owner of the company one day, because she used to smoke, so she would go outside and have her smoke. And one day she calls me and like, why don't you start a company and manage this talent? Because it's really something that needs, more people to implement better casting processes and all. So I was like, okay, I'll think about it. But then at the time I was like, okay, I'm not Kenyan. How do I start a company in this country? So many things. So when I spoke to my husband at the time, he's like, start. Do it. Yeah. So I started in Vogue 6 years ago, pretty much. And we've been doing quite well.
6 years of a casting agency, a modeling agency, really. And I love that you're based in Nairobi. So a lot of the conversation that we're going to have right now is about issues that you have seen and you experienced, because not too long ago there was a hashtag trending, pay models KE. Then of course there's pay interns, but that's another kettle of fish altogether. But then when you think about the modeling agency, it's not too far removed from, you know, it's a business of fame. It's a business of people need to see you. And it's the same thing with a superstar. If you're a singer, if you people need to see you. But what happens to you outside of being seen? It has to make you a fortune. But I think a lot of people go into some of these industries without having a plan and without knowing how you're going to convert that into a fortune.
Great.
Can we talk about that difficult side of that business?
That was actually one of the main passion I had when I started this company. And I actually took about 1 year and 2 years just, you know, research, studying the gaps between the models and what we are talking about, what the clients want, what are we trying to achieve here in terms of content, right? Models in Kenya do not have a platform where they can actually be empowered with knowledge. That is the challenge. Because, for instance, we are very focused on commercial modeling. You come, register, take your photo shoot, we put you in a database, then you sit home and wait for a job to be done. And then there's an audition, you show up, you do the shoot, you're on a billboard, all your friends are loving you and telling you, wow, you know, you're on a Coke billboard and you've made millions, and probably you made 100,000 or 80,000. But then one of the challenge we have in the country is there's less platforms for them with knowledge to give them the foundation, because when models come to our office, the first thing I tell them, this is not going to make you build a home and feed children. Right. Let's get clear.
You're very honest about it.
Let's
it's
be
not
very
an easy
clear.
profession.
It's not an easy profession, and it feels like gambling at times.
Yeah.
So what are you doing beside that? Are you in school? Are you working somewhere? Are you probably doing some workshop or training to build yourself in terms of other things you could do? Do you have other dreams than just modeling, you know? That's the first conversation we have with them as well. The second one is, how do we empower these models to have a platform where they can have information, proper training, proper details on how to empower them in that space of modeling, so that they are able to maximize for the time they're going to be there as models. Because a lot of them, they go with ignorance. They don't read contracts because they don't even know they need to read a contract. So they find themselves in a situation where they bind themselves with a client that they were not aware, because probably the agent did not take time to explain to them, oh, your image is going to be all over Africa, you know. They just thought, oh, I'm being given 100,000, it's a lot of money, but possibly they could have been paid 5 times that figure for whatever they are signing for at the end of the day. So what I did through that time of research, I got this idea about 4 years ago, starting some masterclass, which I started last year, by the way. We've had 2 masterclass where models come. We take them through 6 units, which covers, of course, TV, radio, print, conflict resolution, you know, just, you know, even how do you groom yourself, all these elements. And then also we have the 7th one, which is life skill, whereby now we've got wealth experience.
Yeah, because again, the industry, it's wonderful what you've just said. It opens up opportunities. It opens up networks that you otherwise wouldn't have tapped into. That on its own may or may not make you a fortune. But it's those opportunities that you find while you're there that can begin to translate into a proper income earner for you on a longer term scale and even on a larger term scale. So it's wonderful that you have that unit to just help them to look at things not just this way, try and look at it from a different
You're not
perspective.
going to be pretty and 25 forever.
Accidents happen all the time.
You know.
If you end up with a scar on your face, then what happens? You know. Nina. I am so loving this conversation because it's really it's something that for most of us we think it's common sense. But you know, when you've come from a very difficult background, not you personally, I'm just thinking of a model who's struggling, who's looking for a break, who's just thinking, all I need is even 10,000 shillings and I'll be happy to be on a billboard. People it's not an easy life, and you're always going to find people who will take advantage of you. They're waiting in every corner. Some of them are not even waiting. They're already even knocking on your door trying to take advantage of you. But, excuse me,
Yes.
for very young girls,
Yeah.
for very young guys as well, what is the first thing, or the only one thing you'd want to tell them? You want to go into this industry, one thing you'd say to them?
Find out what that one thing is in part 2 of Sheila Lives Out Loud. And do remember to stop by the Waterfront Karen, East Africa's premier destination for retail and lifestyle. The Waterfront Karen. You've arrived.